Hey everyone, welcome to the Vegan Stew. It is the last Wednesday in March, which means it is our last show for the month, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks with some other topic and some stew crew that will entertain you and excite you, hopefully. And let's say thank you for the last time for this month to Bitchin' Sauce for sponsoring our lives on Virtual Veg Fest. And if you like to win prizes, there's 12 prize packs. Hi, Walter in Nashville. Thanks for joining us again. It's great. Let me see. If you like to win prizes, go to virtualvegfestlive.com and hit the contest tab and enter a wish pond to win prize packs from Terraseed, Hodo Foods, Veg Key, Cinnaholic, Fabulous, Bernie Wild's Adventure Sauce, Kathy Hester, Trupo Treats, BV Kids, Total Body Lab, Dojo Fresh, and Bitchin' Sauce. That's amazing. Nobody else gives prizes away like we do. Like nobody. And it's real. Like we really do give them away. And people do share and tag and post when they get the prizes, hopefully. But they don't always, but some have. And I know some people have won and they didn't think it was real until they got the prize. And then they're like, oh, you really are giving stuff away. Yes, we are. And we're very happy to do that. And it's part of our way of supporting small businesses and to give back to all of you for liking us and sharing about us and being part of everything that we do. We have a very small stuker this week because Shayla is not here yet. She will be. And Sovereign is in the green room. And I'll bring them up in a second. Our topic is one that we absolutely love. It's what our favorite foods are that we eat or partake in on a daily basis, which is a very easy topic for us. It's one that tends to come up pretty often. And if you think I'm stalling, I am. I didn't even come up with anything for current events this week or anything. Marla's on vacation. So Sovereign's got kids in the background. So I'm going to just chat a little bit. So Sovereign, there you are. If you want to unmute, if you can, that'd be great. But I feel like I wrote my newsletter yesterday, and because I didn't feel well, one of the things in my newsletter, because I send a newsletter weekly, was what do you do when you don't feel well? So, Walter, I'm right there with you. I made one last night. We talk about that. So, and I mean, this has been like a really strange not feel well because I have allergies, and let me just get Shayla in here. And that could be why I don't feel well, but I seem to have very similar symptoms to a lot of other people right now. And sorry, I'm multitasking because I'd have to get a code to Shayla so she can come on. And it kind of disappeared. There it is. And I have to remember a number and type it. It's in the right one at the same time. So, okay, she'll be in a second. And, a fever, tired, like very COVID-like symptoms, actually, which the doctor actually thinks that it's COVID. I've tested negative twice. And then it's like moved into my lungs. Like I woke up. I woke up to me wheezing. My wheezing woke me up today. And I was like, what's that noise? Oh, that's me wheezing. And then I was like, I just kept doing it. And I was like, how do I make that stop?
No.
It was the strangest thing to wake up to because it's like, when you wake up to your own snoring.
Yeah.
I woke up to my own wheezing. And I was like, okay, so this is the next phase of my not feeling well. And I just went, okay, at least I've been working each day. After I take like an allergy pill and some Tylenol, I seem to be able to coast through the day until nighttime. And
Right.
then like I start coughing again. and then I sleep, and then I start it all over again. So my hope is every day that I'll wake up with more energy. But you go into Facebook and your friends are like, I have a headache, I have a fever. I'm like, I have a
Gosh.
headache, I have a fever. And
Oh,
careful as you can be, I mean, with all the traveling we do and stuff, right? I mean,
yeah.
you just never know. You're gonna pick something up. You just don't know. So,
Yeah.
but that's okay. Hey, Dr. Shayla,
Hey,
how are
how
you?
are you? I'm good.
We were just talking about because I don't have any current events or anything for this week. I didn't plan anything, but I was just saying I don't feel well. And then in the newsletter yesterday, I actually said, "What do you do when you don't feel well?" Like rest is a great thing. Drinking lots of
Mhm.
fluids, eating healthier foods. Even though I'll talk about what I made last night, which was definitely a comfort. Because when you're sick, it's like you want to eat healthy foods. Like I ate the orange, but at the same time, I want every piece of chocolate in the house possible to be consumed into my body because I don't feel well. And it's comforting
Right.
as long as you don't overdo it, and then you feel sick from eating all the chocolate in the house. You know, chocolate in the house.
I mean, to maybe make you feel better, chocolate does have antioxidants. So, yay, chocolate.
It
It does.
does. Yeah.
Doctor
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Uh,
The So our topic this week, because I don't know any current events we want to talk about, because I think it's been, outside of the fact
well,
that I feel absolutely horrible that one of our cities we do Veg Fest in, which is Nashville,
right.
suffered a school shooting.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
the heaviest, yeah, piece of news, But
right. I mean, my heart goes out to everyone in every city that it happens to, but the latest city for today is Nashville, and we're not a political show, so it's no point in going there. I think everyone kind of knows where we stand
right.
on all these topics without us even having to delve into them. However, I don't ever want to hear that people's lives were shortened, especially 9-year-old lives, and that you know because somebody made a decision. You know, make a decision to go vegan. You'll feel better, right? Mentally, if you eat
Yep.
well and you put good food in your body, it's not to say not to not to mitigate or dismiss or say that food can get rid of mental illness or any issues like that, but
Right.
it can help with mental illness, like exercise can, to help mitigate symptoms of that illness, which is proven medically, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, our diet does play a huge part in our mood too. There have been some studies. We do know that, uh, fruits and vegetables, like even Sovereign said about the antioxidants, those things are helpful from that standpoint. They're good carbohydrates that feed us and fuel us and make you feel happier from that standpoint. So yeah, what you consume definitely can play a part in how you feel. If you think about, when we consume those heavier foods or oily or greasy foods, you feel more kind of weighed down and sluggish and fatigued, versus if you eat, a salad, for instance, you tend to feel a bit more light on your feet even, and a bit more peppy. So yeah.
I will say that food, what you eat, what you take in can help, but it doesn't. And exercise as well, but that also kind of doesn't fix it
Yeah.
because of whatever the mental health condition could
Oh,
be.
for sure.
I'm vegan, I work out, I suffer from PTSD, I have bipolar disorder, things that suffer from childhood trauma. Like it can't be corrected. There are things that can aid in like with maybe like your moods because foods can help with that, but some deeper traumas or deeper diagnoses, not always. Especially since we're talking about the event with the school, there were four more that were apparently supposed to happen today. They were thwarted. there were threats. There were more schools that were on lockdown. And I know that we are talking about food, but I'm tired. I'm a parent. I'm tired of this. And I don't know. I'm tired of thoughts and prayers. We do this often. It's enough. We can't be numb. I have held in from crying because I'm angry. I will not put my children in a brick school. I won't. Teachers are leaving. They're not protected. Administrators don't want to hear them. And if guns are more important, then your granddaughter, your daughter, your son. I'm just enraged. I'm enraged because it didn't have to happen. And again, it's babies. You want to protect them. You want to take away a right from the one who brings life. Then you're okay with taking it, the violence that can take it away by something that can be have reform. And you just don't care. You guys can talk about it.
Yeah. No, I agree, Sovereign. And I definitely don't want to slight that mental illness is all related to food, because it's certainly not. It's certainly more multifaceted. And, even in terms of treatment, therapy is helpful, medication is helpful, but diet and exercise is helpful too. But yeah, it's certainly multifaceted. And yeah, we could do a whole other show on, guns and and the rights there, but yeah. This is Celane's show, so
It's our show. It's all our show. It's all the whole stew crew. I mean, it is obviously we try to talk about current events. They aren't always about the vegan world. They can be intersected into it. And we live in this world. We do public facing events. We bring people together to have public events. And I'll tell you, when I started this in 2014, nowhere on my radar was someone could come and shoot up at one of my events. Like, I knew, stuff like that could happen, but it was never on my radar of, hey, let's hold a veg fest in public and someone can come and do something absolutely horrible like this. However, That is something that is now a concern. It is. There's no way to prevent it.
No.
Right. But and I hate to be the pessimist, but after Sandy Hook, honestly, when nothing was done, I just lost hope that anything would be done at that point. My kids do go to public school because my husband and I work, and so they have to. But it is a real fear, when you do send your children to school every day. And I recall I was just talking to another mom friend, and we were talking about, when we were in school, the biggest thing you worried about was like a tornado. You had a tornado drill here in the South. But now they have active shooter drills at my kids' school. It's not the tornado that, it's so much that people are worried about. It's the active shooter. So it's a sad state of affairs.
It is. My cousins were in Parkland. So my family has been directly impacted by a school shooting. And let me tell you, Parkland is, what are we at now? 5 years out? I can't believe it's like 5 years out. That community is still reeling. Yeah. They have not healed. They have not healed. I know that because my cousin is living it, and her daughter is PTSD. Her daughter was 15. It was on her birthday. Yeah. Every year on her birthday, she gets to remember where she was when she was 15 years old. Yeah. And that is just, I don't want to think about somebody so young having to deal with that. And the thing is, it'd be one thing if like you have something tragic happen to you, because we all do. You can't live a full life and not have tragedy happen. However, most of us have tragedy happen, and it's not in our face on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
We don't have to relive the thoughts and feelings of what we went through because it's being brought up because it keeps happening. And then there's more people to join your club because it's basically where they're at now. They're basically building a club of people who have been in situations where someone has been killed in your presence.
Yeah. I'm 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 Columbine. That was my first over the news when it broke, and we were mortified. And then while we were in high school, we actually went to active shooter drills. We had people that were calling in for threats, and it was terrifying. It's one thing if like you've been someone, there are kids in the school that never in their life may have had anything where it's been a stressor for too long. But for, me and others who had anxiety, it was more like we were on edge every single time. And now being a parent, when, growing up and then, of course, being a parent in Sandy Hook, I'm sorry, and then Uvalde, which did it for me, and then this one. Then a TikTok video of a mom recording her children who couldn't be any more the same age as my own or a little younger about, do they know if they'll go to art school and come back out? I said, kids shouldn't be having this conversation. They're babies. Enough is enough. Yeah, all we can say is we're sorry. That sorries don't do anything. There's no reason for this 7-year-old for them to be planning their escape and jump out the window. What do we do if we're shot? How do you? I can't. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of freaking out. I'm tired.
And I think that's the impact I think and feel on everybody who loves a child that lives. Well, I don't know if it's the impact on everybody who loves a child, because I don't see anyone trying to make any changes about what's happening to children with the laws to maybe help make things more secure in our country. But we all know children somehow, some way, and love somebody's child if you don't have your own. And to send them to school every day, Shayla, with what's going on. Growing up, when I was in elementary school, we did a bomb drill. I was like one of the last classes to do a bomb drill, which is very interesting because, a bomb drill, if you go underneath your desk or in the hall and put your head down, it's a bomb. What's it gonna do? You're not gonna really be protected with your head underneath. But we did bomb drills because I lived up the road from Grumman, which I was in elementary school in the 70s. So that was a fear then. That's what I remember. But nowhere in my schooling did we do any type of drill for active shooter. It was, again, nowhere on our radar that anything like that ever happened. It just wasn't. And then we had the song I Don't Like Mondays by the Boomtown Rats. So we were aware growing up that there was a school shooting in a song, which is a fantastic song. It's based on truth. Somebody went to school and shot up the school, and they made a song about it. But it was conceptual, even though that was reality. Great song, even though the concept of it probably a little harder to listen to now because it's so relevant. But the Boomtown Rats, I Don't Like Mondays because it happened on a Monday.
You have to wonder, if some of it now is like a copycat thing. Everybody kind of remember Columbine as kind of I know for me it's kind of the start. I don't know if it really was or not, but it just feels like it was. And then you have to wonder, if some of it now is almost like, well, I'm gonna die with my name in lights, if you will, to outdo the next. It's really sad though that our children just aren't. You almost feel like they aren't important enough to lawmakers.
No, they're not.
To actually make some impactful decisions.
They're not. And the very fact that you have one of the fathers from, I think it's Parkland or Sandy Sandy Hook, who was
I think it
tackled.
was Sandy Hook that was one of the.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was tackled. And I was just like, what is happening? What is this? We scream, we shout, the world is watching. I mean, it's very clear that guns are favored more than lives and everything is just control. And I know that this is a topic that I've been holding this in for days since the news broke and watching the footage. But we're talking about sentient beings. This is intersectionality here. And if we're talking about children, our future, to have anything change, and the future is just being taken away like they don't matter. And I just cannot grasp the concept of how people can be so cruel and so heartless and look at a child and then look at a weapon that can kill and take the life of anyone, including your own child, and say, nah, it's fine. Thoughts and fucking prayers. Excuse my language. No, sorry, not sorry. Fuck these people. It doesn't make any sense. We have to stop being so tiptoeing around. I can't. This has to stop. I don't even know what we can do. It's not what knowing you. There's so much that can be done, but then there's people in power that put it in the way.
No, now what?
Sorry, thank you, honey. You kind of think,
Being
wherever you go, not even a school, a supermarket, anything like that. Are you gonna come out alive? You just went to go get something. Are you gonna come out? Who's gonna walk in there? Why? What reason? Just either A, out of hate, or mental health issues. Because mental health here in the United States is not taken seriously. You don't divert, you don't invest and try to make the people better. I don't understand how you could be okay. Gun violence is not okay. But just the fact that kids, I just don't understand. I don't get it.
I can give you a positive. I mean, I always try to find a positive. So I can give you a positive that they've done polling of the younger generation in regards to gun violence, and if something needs to be done about it. And they feel that there needs to be changes. And they're the ones that are going to be up and coming. They're going to be the ones that are going to be voting and making decisions when we're older.
Yeah.
And they are living through this, and they're not happy about it. So they're not at the point, and they are making a difference. Actually, they've made a difference in the last 2 elections. The younger generation has voted and said what they want.
Oh yeah, they have.
It's just they need to age. They
Well,
need
they are.
to mature into hopefully not reversing their views. And I mean, Bernadette seems to have gone through what I went through as younger, so we're probably close in age. And then Yanni, it's great to see you. Yanni's got a great food truck in Charlotte. And then Robin Lee, I didn't miss you, but I knew you were there. Say hi, Robin Lee. Thank you for joining us. I don't even know how to segue this. I'm not even going to try because there's no way. There's no way to go from something so somber to something like food. However, we can go to something like food because, we want to cheer everybody up as much as we can for a brief moment of time or maybe longer as my dog barks downstairs. But
we can transition into something good from this. Like you said, all I will say is Gen A, Generation Z, and Gen A, they are feral. They are not taking this anymore. So I have a lot of hope. And us as millennials, boomers, I don't care, just decent human beings, we have to stick by them, in front of them, beside them, and keep fighting. Because they are going to be the ones that make a change. And they are acting more mature than some adults. They're going to make the ones to change over. And now with that, let's change over to food. Transition time before I don't cry anymore. Here we go.
I like the jingle though, so I'm right.
I mean, thank you for being vulnerable on a platform that, we don't know who's watching, but here's a good segue thanks to Walter. So tomorrow's a vegan barbecue.
Comfort food. Nothing like talking about comfort food for
Right,
comfort.
gonna try Southern Fried Vegan food. They are making their rounds. They were in Greenville, I think, and I think they were in Asheville recently. So Southern Fried Vegan's making their way. They were a vendor in Tampa when we did Tampa last year. So they flew in from Vegas. So they travel around the country like Future does, and sell their food, cook it on the spot, and that's really neat. They thank you for supporting a vegan vendor that's doing that. And then Bernadette, there's a intersectionality to food, nourishing and comforting in times of stress. Right. And like as I started in times of sickness, what do we do? So last night I made dinner. I don't know what I made. Oh, right. I don't even know anymore what nights they were. But I of course, going along the healthy thing, I cut up carrots, peppers, onion, and squash, zucchini and yellow squash. And I sauteed that up, and I was going to make pasta. I had the water boiling, and I was going to make spaghetti. But then I opened my cabinet and I found gnocchi. So I boiled the gnocchi, and then I threw that into the vegetables, which I only cooked with like some cooking spray oil, organic olive oil cooking spray on the pan, in the most amazing pans that don't stick. They're like amazing. So, and I just like mixed that up with like lots of spices and white pepper and black pepper. So it gave a little bit of a spice and some vegan parm. And that's what was for dinner.
We had gnocchi yesterday.
That sounds delicious, though.
We did that.
That's like what our nights are like when we cook. So, I mean, and then I wasn't done because I was like, you know what? I don't feel well. And I have a recipe group on Facebook that I post recipes in. Back when you couldn't save things on Facebook and you had to like put them somewhere in the middle of the night, I started like a vegan recipe page so that people can drop their recipes in it and it's searchable, and you do the whole thing. It's only recipes. I don't even promote anything I do in it. So I still drop recipes in there. And the other day I dropped this 3-layer oat chocolate peanut butter thing. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make that. So it's very simple, like the cooked oats, like the quick cook oats mixed with, they have honey in the recipe, but I use maple syrup. I always change recipes, and peanut butter in the oat section. And they wanted peanuts, but I only had raw cashews, so I threw some raw cashews in it. You mix that together to the bottom layer, and it's supposed to be in a cupcake cup, but I put it in a pan because, like I said, I changed recipes. So I just found a pan, circle pan, and I pressed that down, and then the chocolate layer, I was supposed to be chocolate and coconut oil, to which I did chocolate and some maple syrup, which made it not smooth because it freezed up on me. But then I didn't throw any oil in it. I just went with it. I was like, it's fudgy. So I just put it on top of my oats. I didn't care. And then you're supposed to put that in the fridge, but because my chocolate was already hard, I was like, I don't need to put this in the fridge. So the peanut butter layer was just peanut butter and some coconut oil, to which I put a little bit of organic sunflower oil. So completely, and I do this all the time. I put a little bit of that, put it in the microwave, mix that up, and then just put that on top. So of course, without the coconut oil, it doesn't harden as well. But that's okay. So I just put this on, then you put it into the freezer, and you wait like an hour, which I waited maybe 30 minutes. And then, total comfort food, Robin Lee. This was no joke. This was absolutely
I'm going to give you an easier version. I'm going to give you an easier version of that, Helene. I do something similar, but it's a lot less steps. It's just the rolled oats. Just dump like 2 cups in a large bowl. Put some peanut butter in there, and then some date syrup and some chia seeds and chocolate chips. Mix it all up. Then use an ice cream scoop to make little balls. Put it on a pan, stick it in the freezer so that the date syrup and stuff just hardens to it, and then you can just store it in Tupperware. Super quick. Good dessert.
That is
No cooking required.
Okay.
that's,
Well, we're gonna go from Helene of difficulty level 2 to Dr. Shayla of easy level to me, who just likes to torture myself out of randomness. But it's worth it. I like to make jams and jellies, like preferred, like for the kids, which is super quick. Get frozen berries, like your choice, and then do a little bit of water or do coconut water. Do a organic cane sugar or coconut sugar, and chia seeds, and let that like on low, and it'll thicken. Like if you want to take a what do you call it, a masher, like to break up like whatever the fruit is, you can. Well, I made a blueberry and dark cherry cardamom jelly. I made too much, and I was staring at the rest of it, and I'm just like, I don't know what necessarily to do with this. Okay, well, you could just save it and let there be extra jelly, or no, let's go ahead and bake a loaf with it. So I actually am a huge fan of, like when I color food, I like to color it naturally. So normally with food-based powders, and Suncor is amazing with their types that they have. And so I have their blue butterfly pea powder, and also their taro and sweet potato powder. And so I used the sweet potato powder, super color powder, and took the rest of the jam that I made and just kind of swirled it through. When I tell you, it was the most pretty, what do you call it? Contrast of like a dark, like purple to just this beautiful light purple. They destroyed it. Like I had a crumb. My kids were like, fantastic. This is for us, right? No, well, I don't care what you say. And they just completely demolished it. But it's very much like if you were to do like, you could do it with muffins. It's just super easy to do. Like you would make like a banana nut loaf or anything like that. Any fruit, fruit breads, using aquafaba as your egg replacement, using just egg, using chia seeds, using flax seeds. And it's a good way to sneak in for them like a lot of fiber and extra protein. But I've made a version before. The version that I made was using food-based coconut ash. So it was black and white. Like I don't remember what I did with the marbling, but it was so good. But this one here was also really good without having it, because some people take medications. So you can't, because that will, completely just remove it from your system. But that was like it's a comfort, like a little comfort dish, but you're making it yourself. So it's a sweet. It's not chocolate, but it's good. It's on the same tier, same level, I think.
Sounds fancy.
we don't do a lot of fancy in this house because I don't want to take the time.
It was random too. I was just staring at it. This was like at some noon, and I'm just like, I don't know what my brain was like. You're gonna make a loaf. Challenge day, and it actually turned out really good. So, but yeah, no, you don't necessarily have to do anything that fancy. I mean, technically, you can take and just put it in muffin tins and make like really cool muffins. But I don't know. Like I'm very random and out of the train derails, as like my friends like say. Why are you making it extra hard for yourself? But
you're also like chefy.
Yeah.
So that has a lot to do with it. You kind of almost on the professional side, which means that you're willing to spend that time. Whereas, to segue off of loaf, I was searching for semolina flour for a little bit because we wanted to make bread with semolina flour because it's amazing. Found it, baked a loaf over the weekend. It's the best loaf of bread I've made because the semolina flour just gives it that different flavor. It's just delicious, like absolutely delicious.
It sounds like it would be.
I have a bread maker. I think I've mentioned that on here before. I have a bread maker. It's very easy when you have a bread maker, so my hands don't have to do anything but measure, and I don't have to touch any ingredients. I'm not tactile. I don't like touching sticky things with my hands. So when it comes to making stuff that needs kneading or stuff like that, I've been known to put gloves on because I just don't like the feeling on my fingers. I'm like, get it off of me. And there's a lot of things you can
Same.
make
I
with
keep boxes of gloves around. Yeah, and I do the same. I don't like it on my hands.
easy for a doctor. I'm sure in your house there's just boxes of gloves just in general. So funny. I mean, we've talked about like what our like daily stuff is. Like I do a smoothie. Since Steven's like colon surgery thing, the threat that he might have had cancer, I was like, you are drinking a smoothie every day now. So he calls it his delicious fruit smoothie. That I say, there's veggies in there too. And he goes, don't say that. It's a delicious fruit smoothie every day that if I didn't make it, he wouldn't drink it. Right. But I actually make two different smoothies in the morning now because I don't want to drink the same one as him. So it's how I start my day. I don't do coffee, I don't do caffeine. But if I don't have my smoothie, I'm not happy.
What do you put in your
And I also
smoothie?
what do I put in? I put an organic date, peanut butter powder, but just peanut butter, peanuts, no sugar. It's
Yeah,
just
like
organic.
the PB2. Oh, not like PB2.
Not even
Okay.
the PB. It's actually an organic peanut butter
Yeah.
powder. That's it. So there's no sugar in it. And then
Mm.
I have this Nomadic Roots chocolate meal replacement powder. He's one of our vendors. So I put a little bit of that in there too. And then the Wicked Vegans have this thing called Shroom Dust, I think is their new name, which is a
Awesome.
powder made from mushrooms and like
Yes.
other spices.
Yes, it's awesome.
You've had it? I mean, they just gave me some and now I need more because I've been putting it in our smoothie every day. It is, and I don't do mushrooms, so they're like, here's your way to get mushrooms in because all the health properties of mushrooms, and it tastes really good. So I'm saying that means you'll all like that. So there's no dirt taste to my smoothie. I don't do dirt taste smoothies. And then in mine, I put frozen banana, cherry, mango, and I've been putting ICI in. And Steven, he gets a kiwi. He was like, I want a kiwi. So we buy kiwis. I cut up a kiwi, put it in there. Yes, he wants pineapple, kiwi, cherry. And I also put a spinach kale, organic spinach kale from BJ's. I buy the big bag. I get a big cup, like a cup of that in each. And that's the difference in the smoothies. And his tastes good, but I prefer mine.
That's how you really feel.
Right.
I mean, I drink this, but the pineapple seems to not sit right with me anymore. So
Yeah.
it's too acidic, so that's why I can't consistently do it. I just drink like a couple of sips of it. But that's I look forward to, I can't tell you how much I look forward to my smoothie.
I haven't had. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, that sounds good.
No.
I haven't had a smoothie in so long. And when I did a couple months get back into it, Spider-Man has spidey senses. The kids have smoothie senses. So I didn't get a lick of that smoothie. But something that I
that
have.
usually happens in my house too, Sovereign.
Yeah. It's like, where are they coming from? And they'll just shoot up in front of you like, hey, it's mine. I have gotten back into now I start my day with like an iced coffee. Yerba mate is my favorite to do though, with lemon, just the tea and then the lemon in it. But I've gotten back to watermelon juice. And I would do a watermelon and mint juice. So of course, just dicing up and throwing everything in the Vitamix, and then using a nut bag or a strainer, and drinking about 32 ounces. Also, because it's like a really good way to get hydrated and to really move your system. Adding lime after you have done it, after you have completely removed pulp, everything like that, that's the winner. You can have it with the mint and the watermelon itself and drink it, which is fantastic. But it takes it to a different level with the acidity, and you don't need a lot of it. Just like squeeze about maybe half to a quarter, like a quarter to half as soon as you're done, and then just use your straw or spoon and just, it's amazing. Like, that was a big, like, good way to start the day, like a smoothie would, to kind of get your system going and to start getting rid of like any nasty bits in your system. But I really miss smoothies. I was all about like different types of green smoothies, and I look forward to getting into that again. But green juices, just juices were the main thing that I'm so glad I got back into.
Watermelon
Yeah.
and lime is
I like my smoothies too. I probably make them like twice a week. Now I will tell you, Sovereign, to keep this, so I do have some and not let the kids drink it up. I feel the Vitamix completely full. That's the key to make sure it's enough for all of us.
It still never wins.
But yeah.
Never. I'm not kidding. My 9-year-old will down 64 ounces if you give it to him. He will clean the entire Vitamix. Okay, go ahead. He will clean all. And I'm just like, your next birthday, you're getting a card with a job application, because I can't with all.
Right.
I would just put it in a cup and hand him the cup and let him drink what's in the cup, as opposed to handing him the Vitamix.
No, I don't hand him the Vitamix. Like, I'll give him, they all have like their own little cups. And as soon as I go and they'll say, thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome. And then as soon as I go and they turn the corner and I'm like, I can get some. I'm not kidding. They will whip. And I'm just like, you just had it. Where did you come from? What shadow did you crawl out of? Why is it empty already? More, please? I'm just like, where did it go? How quickly did you drink it? Yeah. So it's having to, I'm going to have to go back to making the 2-batch rule, which is make one overnight when they don't see it and put that in the fridge for myself, and then make one in the morning, because I will be lucky if I'm like Oliver Twist, because they just
you a bat kid, so
yes.
why would they swoop in?
Yes, of course. I got that reference.
Which one? Yeah, so I don't know. I can think about, like, even though I don't feel well, I've cooked a lot this week. There's a new falafel brand. I'm not going to be able to tell you the brand name because I don't know it. I don't remember it, but it's brand new to us. There's 2 different flavors. One's like a garlic herb one, and then there's the falafel flavor. It is the best falafel, quite possibly like the best falafel I've ever, like one of the best I've ever eaten, let alone a frozen package from the store that I put into the air fryer and make a falafel sandwich out of. It's incredible. I mean, Stephen and I both feel that way. So it's
wow, that's interesting.
Alfia,
I haven't found a at-home falafel that I like. They never seem to hold up to like going to a Greek restaurant and getting it.
It is absolutely, let me see if I can figure out the name of it and without it bringing up like a restaurant. It is, Afia, Afia. That's it. You'll be done. It is amazing. I found it in, I'm shortness of breath. It's that time of year for me. I found it in Whole Foods, and I found it in Wegmans, I believe, the 2 places that I've purchased it so far. And air fry. So there's another bag in the freezer. It is so good that, I mean, if you like falafel, you like the taste of falafel, you like it crunchy, it's not falling apart. It's not mushy. They're like this size. So the little bite-sized pieces, you can take a bite and do it in 2. unless you're like one of those people who just pops things in their mouths. I would prefer to bite things in half, but you could easily just eat it whole. It is just it is so good. So you cut up lettuce and onion and peppers and carrots and do that. And then we have Fabulous in the house. Fabulous has an amazing tzatziki and ranch and Faba dip that we've been using on it. It's like the most incredible meal. And I feel better because we're not frying them. We're not cooking them with
Yeah.
oil. We're just putting them in the air fryer. And I think for 3 of them, it's 90 calories.
What's the brand?
Afia, AFIA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen Fresh Waffle. Look, I used to talk about an Arab restaurant. Well, that makes sense too. But they're definitely going to fly them. So Afia brand.
Yeah,
You know the
Afia.
brand?
You can find them in. Sprouts has them. Whole Foods has them. Trader Joe's has them. If you do grocery shopping online, like you're getting, you can find it there. Of course, I have seen it. Amazon Fresh. I've seen it. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Afia. Yeah,
Have you
they're
had the falafel?
yes,
You know what I'm talking about.
yes, I do.
Yeah.
So good.
It's new to our stores for sure because I hadn't seen it before the first time I purchased it. I don't spend a lot of time in supermarkets though, but I hadn't seen it before then. It's so good. And then when I wasn't feeling well the other night, Stephen cooked for me and he made like the Beyond chicken strips, but he sauteed up like little diced potatoes and like Costco has organic string beans, like the full string bean, like the little ends on them, not cut, frozen. There's no need to buy fresh. These are just as good as fresh string beans of any frozen vegetable I've ever had. That's how boiled, sauteed, it doesn't matter. It tastes like I bought fresh green beans and I cook them the same exact way that I'm preparing them. Amazing. So I'm raving about a string bean, but you should rave about a string bean. They're so good.
I've never seen Fly Bernadette. I've never seen the frozen ones. I don't know.
It was
Okay.
Yeah,
new to
our
me.
Costco has the big bags of the fresh ones.
Yeah.
In the produce section in the little chilled produce area, but yeah, I haven't seen the frozen ones either.
It was brand new to me. I think it might actually be brand new to
It
the
might.
store because I was like, yo, should we get this? Okay, we got it. And then I was like making stuff and I think I made some dish that I was boiling something. So I just threw them in the water and I was like, yo, these are good. And then you just take them frozen, throw them into saute because the water is going to help with the sauteing because it'll help with the non-sticking and just saute that up. And I was like, yo, this is so easy to have something so delicious and simple to add into your food. I mean, I work Costco, BJ's people, frozen fruit, frozen vegetables. Fresh
That's
stuff.
where all of my
Fresh stuff
smoothie
is
fruit. Talk about smoothies comes from Costco.
Yep. I mean, you and I think probably have a similar household from the sounds of it. Except there were 2 people, you're a family. We probably have the same amount of food.
I wonder if like do you guys ever or have you ever heard of or done like shopping like Thrive Market, things like that?
Yeah.
I am obsessed with I was very big. I don't remember when I came across Thrive. I think it was 2018. But my go-to is GTFO. It's vegan because if you have not tried it, shout out to them because they have a vegan tuna sashimi and it is okay. Yep, sorry, you heard that little interlude from the little one. They have like just it's really cool to go or like you'll find things that you may just find anywhere at a store. I actually discovered Future Farm here. Love their products. Their quote unquote tuna, so their future tuna is really good. And it's reasonably priced, and they're plant based flakes. So to do like a tuna salad sandwich is really cool. But I came across their sashimi. They have a sashimi bundle. So you're talking about like tuna. They do salmon. It is the coolest thing because it looks like the what you would see if you were to go to a Japanese restaurant, of course. So of course it's without the cruelty. It's beautiful to look at and it tastes really, really good. And it is vegan. It is not made with anything animal. So it's just made out of konjac, tapioca, and then the glucose from seaweed. But it is the color, and of course the color that is used is natural, of course, in terms of using plant-based to get that hue. But it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Really good.
I have something to say about GTFO. It's vegan, and I don't know if it's real or
Is it
not.
bad?
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
Uh-oh.
rewind.
I don't know if they were hacked or not, but on
If
their
there was,
Instagram, they had a post about it was political, and it was anti a lot, and there were people commenting and defending it,
anti
and
what?
they anti everything.
Oh,
Like,
really?
oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's gone, but
That doesn't save them.
it was up for long enough that there was a ton of comments, and
Ooh.
there's nothing else like it. And I
Mhm.
don't know what happened
I'm about to
because I
find
didn't
out.
follow up on it, but it was definitely not a positive light for that company. And I can't remember what it was anti. It was anti-trans, if it was
Hmm.
anti-LGBTQ.
Ooh,
It was
no.
definitely not a good look for them. And it happened in like a a bleep of time. But that bleep of time was probably a few hours.
Oh,
Enough
that's
that it was out there. So,
Hmm.
and like I said,
Well, I bet somebody's probably got a screenshot of it. I mean,
oh, I'm looking at it right now.
nowadays. Yeah.
found it.
They're anti-vax. They
That's
are, yeah, that's what it's saying. Yeah, they're anti-vax. And I
that's
think
okay.
Bill Gates is trying to put COVID vaccines in the food.
Yes, it's not still up though, right?
No, it turns out that it's on Reddit. I just typed in GTFO is anti and it pulled it up.
Yes.
And
And they
I was
said
like,
there were
wow.
COVID vaccines in the food.
Oh, it
Mhm.
was that's what it was. I mean, like I said, I couldn't remember what it was. It was yes. They talk
They're
about
anti-vax.
their at least that post was, and the
Well, let's see.
comments responding to people to be like, "What's wrong with you?" Were just like, "Well, what? There's nothing wrong with us." It was last. I went and I looked at it when it was actually happening, and I was like, "Oh, I've never ordered from you. I guess I'm not going to."
Now I'm see this is sleuth. And like if I like a product, great. But if I end up finding something that doesn't sit well, I'll turn them off in a heartbeat. I'm not gonna. I don't have to necessarily. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, you can delve into that a little deeper. At least everyone knows to go to Reddit and type in
Yeah.
GTFO, it's vegan
Yeah.
Yeah.
anti, and then you'll find it for yourself. Now, like I said, I didn't follow up to see if they created a post to say like, "Oh, hey, we were hacked." I haven't heard anything to the contrary though. So, I mean, the last thing you want to do is take something that big that's pushing out vegan stuff and be like, "Oh, hey." However, if you're going to put that on your social, then you guess what
Yeah.
we get to consumers, we get to choose whether we want to give you our funds or not. That's why
Correct.
you try to be as
Right.
inclusive as possible with everything that you do because you want everyone's funds. So
Why companies? Why? Just like discover the coolness of you, and you decided to be a complete tool.
dude, pretty
What
much.
a
I want to understand how Walter uses cognac
Oh,
for
konjac?
gluten-free pancakes as a binder because I just don't feel like that would taste good.
Um,
I just, you can prove me wrong, but if you want gluten-free pancakes, it's really vegan.com as the best gluten-free pancakes. It's a mix on the market, hands down. Add water and you're done. You can't get much better than you actually mixing it yourself at home and making your own. But you don't have to because he did it for you. So it is. I like it better than the gluten version that
It
he
works
has.
better than egg.
It is super super good, and the pancakes look like pancakes. You can't really. So I'm curious. It works better than egg. Okay. I don't know. I would use flax egg if I made my own pancake mix at home. I'd probably use a flax egg in it. Then it'd make it gummy. You don't even think I don't even think you need egg to make a
you don't.
pancake mix.
You just
You
need
don't. Mm-mm.
need
Really,
baking powder,
flour, water, and baking powder, applesauce.
salt,
To make them.
oil.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's what. Yeah, I tried a flax egg. It was gummy. Yeah, I don't think you need any egg at all. I think you. I mean, gluten free wise, it shouldn't even matter. I mean, you need a fat. You need a liquid. You need something to make it rise. You need flour. You need water. Maybe a little lemon juice for acidity. If you like that thing, vanilla, always a fan. Don't measure, just pour it in. And, maple syrup in there is always yummy. Depends on what direction, bananas, blueberries, whatever you want to put in there. But there we go. 300 buckwheat and a quart of millet. They fell apart with that binder, which makes sense. So that binder it's got to be a fat, right? As a binder?
Not necessarily. I use a recipe from Happy Herbivore, and there's no oil in the recipe, and they hold up just fine. I put them. I don't cook them stovetop though. I use a little pancake maker. It's like 3 little circles. I think it's really like an empanada maker, but it's my pancake maker because I like simplicity, as I've told you all. So, right, just put it in there. Put it down. Perfect little circle pancakes.
Mission accomplished.
Silver dollar.
Yep.
That's a girl. Every kid wants a silver dollar pancake. Every kid wants silver dollar pancakes. I'm an IHOP kid. I grew up at IHOP, so it's like the pancakes with the orange and the 2 cherries because it makes a little smiley face. That's what I grew up with. So IHOP, people won't know what IHOP is in like 10 years because there won't be any. That and like Howard Johnson, like who are they? They're not even the hotel
Yeah,
left.
are there still even a Howard Johnson? Right, I don't think I've seen one.
There's very few left. But the restaurant, I don't know if there's any restaurants left that are Howard Johnsons that were part of the hotels because they're famous for having the fried clams and like fried shrimp, like French fries unlimited. That's what they were like famous for. You get like a plate of all that. I know it's the only way I would eat like a fried clam when I was a kid. It was the frozen ones. So if you fried it, French fries were good. It was like unlimited. So it's like, oh, let's go to Howard Johnson. So I grew up like my family. My dad would eat out like 3 meals a day if he could. So I grew up eating out like a lot, going to a lot of movies, probably inappropriately at a very young age, and eating out like tons and tons of meals, like all over the place. Which is funny because we eat out tons and tons of meals all over the place now. It's just eat vegan. But at home, we don't go out that much. We stay home and we cook, which is probably the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
Healthier.
Going out is good. I just, oh gosh, I don't remember in the age of COVID. I don't remember the last time I went out to a public place. My anxiety is way too high lately. But it's so funny that you talked about the Howard Johnson had restaurant. There was one in California that I stayed at. I don't know what attracted me to stay there. Maybe I think it's because where it was located. But I would like stay there for my birthday. But there is one. I think there's one here in Atlanta, like in Lawrenceville, I think. Um, but I was just thinking of the part where you said silver dollar pancakes. I said, I'm just gonna send the boys your way, and you're going to from now on just make big ass pancakes and say screw no, because they will just say more, please, more. They will become. You will.
See, you got to get you
Yes.
one of the little makers. You make it too complicated, Sarah. You make all that stuff from scratch. You just got to put it in a little maker.
I learned my lesson trying to do silver pancakes as they got older. When they were little, and I was like, yeah, when they're 1, 2, 3, and now if I present it in front of them, they're like, what is this? Can they be bigger? Is this Ant-Man size? Is this what we're doing now? And I'm just like, okay. So I just make full on, just regular sized pancakes, and they love. I'm curious though about the millet and the buckwheat, gluten
It would be
free.
good.
But how? Like I had so much trouble with those particular flours. Like they give me such a headache.
They are. I have a mix that has those types of flours. The pancake mix with it's hearty. It is not. It's not a sweet pancake. It is a hearty pancake that
Okay.
is got. It's very fibrous. It's one of the best way to do it. So if you can, I mean, pancake wise, like I said, I would just do. I like. I mean, I've stopped making my own pancakes because I could just take the mix and just add water and be like, oh, pancakes. We're done. And that could be a waffle too, if we want.
Yes.
Steve, we made a meal. What did we do? We had just egg, potatoes, veggies. I made him throw in squash and yellow squash because we had so much. I was like, throw that in. Peppers, onions, all sauteed up together. And then vegan cheese, just all mixed in, and then the vegan egg, and it was very mushy. It was like it was just a big mush, but it was a very tasty mush. So we ate that for dinner one night, and then the next day I had the waffle iron out, which I was channeling Marla Rose. She's all over the waffle maker, and I had it out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put this in the waffle maker, the leftover, and I just waffled it up, and it was like really kind of too oily, but it just heated it up in the waffle maker. So we ate that, and then I went and I got the ravioli from Trader Joe's out of the fridge, and I didn't boil it. I just put it in the waffle maker and just closed the lid, and we had like crunchy ravioli.
I seriously want to try that now. Like you have no idea. Like we're all friends now, and it is that time. So I am wanting salty and just out of pocket, and I have really cool Halloween shaped waffle maker. Oh no, see, you got me started. I thank you, because now I'm going to. That's what I'm going to do, and then we'll come out looking like ghost heads.
We thank Marla Rose for this.
Thanks,
Marla. It was to me because it's but putting the ravioli. It was just like really cool because it didn't form into a waffle.
Right.
It just got grilled in there. So without boiling them, because I like ravioli, fresh ravioli, because it wasn't frozen. It was fresh ravioli from Trader Joe's right out of the fridge. And I don't have to boil them. They're good out of the package, but then heating them up like that, they had that little crunchy outside of the pasta and hot on the inside. I was like, here we go. Stephen was like, okay. So here's the recipe for the pancakes for the buckwheat and millet and the kanya flour. That's so interesting. I wonder, Trevor's getting the right amount of water the first time because once makes you can't add any more water or else it collapses. Okay, that's a learning curve. I was ready to use that recipe.
If it's getting like the tricky part, I probably have to like zen myself first, because I know the first time I won't get it, and I think that's the problem that I had before. Like I was trying to work with different flours, like wheat flour I know how to work with, of course. I make the whole wheat and white, of course, unbleached, but trying to do, especially with the little ones, trying to figure out a different type, especially for gluten-free. And those particular, because of the types. They're not fine flowers. You're right. They're very fibrous. They're very hearty, earthy flowers, and it's really, really tricky. But I'm gonna try and keep at it because it is that balance. It's everything is a science. This is torture in terms of this particular recipe, and the konjac flour. I'm really interested because that's
It says.
three types. That's
I guess you can make noodles out of it too. Because I mean,
yeah.
if water and make a noodle out of it, that'd be very interesting as well. Or vegan shrimp.
Yeah.
Vegan shrimp.
Yeah.
So to bring us to like a close, because I want to go eat dinner. It's one of the nights I did not eat dinner first. I said, Stephen, make dinner, please. In the big fat ass vegans group, which if you're not in it, join it. It is probably one of the best groups on Facebook. And someone just posted, when you don't like sweets for your birthday, have a ziti cake. Oh my goodness. I was like, I'm totally doing this. So the ziti, right? The ziti noodles are up and down in the around in like a cake. I'm terrible describing things. So the round noodle is vertical as opposed to flat on its side. So it's sticking up and it's shaped in a cake. And on the top of that is the vegan ricotta and the sauce. And then that's baked. Yo. So of course, like that sauce and everything is dripping into the noodles. As you're like, because you're gonna coat, if you're gonna coat with sauce and that cheese, it's gonna go into the rigatoni or the ziti, and then you're gonna bake that. It looked like a cake, but it was ziti. And I was like, yeah, that's speaking my language. That is reinventing Italian food for me. And if he knew how to make the vegan cheese, he doesn't. So I haven't shown him how to do that. But all the ingredients are downstairs. So I think that's this weekend. I think he'll make sauce and I'll make cheese and we will bake that baby up. I don't know how we're going to shape it. I don't know what kind of pan I'm going to use. So I don't know if I have that. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make this happen because it looks delicious.
You can get a cake pan.
I do have one.
You should get like a 9-inch, the one that that one, like if you're doing layers. And
Yeah.
and
That's a good idea. Okay, I see Stephen is in the kitchen. All right. Do we have anything else that we want to share? A better, fun food topic?
no,
No.
I think we're good.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sovereign. And thank you, Sheila. Thank you for joining us. I'm actually trying to breathe not too deeply because it hurts to do that right now. And then I'll start coughing. So I made it. Thank you for joining us and be part of our fun show. Granted, if you start from the beginning and you get to this point, it's a bipolar type show because it's sad at the start and it's happy at the end. But it's some really, really important topics that we touch on a weekly basis that you're probably all thinking about or maybe discussing in your social spheres that we want to discuss with each other so you can hear what we think. And Walter's going to try making ubi purple yam jam now. Well, that sounds amazing. So go, Walter, and thanks for being part of the show tonight. That was great. Once again, go to virtualvettrustlive.com, enter the contest, and win some really cool prizes. And thanks to Bitch and Sauce one last time for the month of March for sponsoring our lives. And we hope you have a great rest of your month, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody. Bye.